over here, one over here, one over here, one everywhere almost, taking a little bit more than half the map, but not completely saturating his half of the map, of the bases. And he's going to try to take down the missile turret, but he will probably lose out to these Marines and the missile turrets. A couple of Mules lost there, and a lot of them in the red. Additional upgrades for the Zerglings. Melee attack number 1 is about to finish. Adrenal glands for them as well. Still 1010 upgrades for Satiini. Satiini still on 4 barracks, 2 factory and 1 starport. And I think these units wanted to go next to the tower, but they're rallied incorrectly, I believe. These overlords are spreading creep, very, very important, because that will allow you the speed that you need to break through this part of the map and catch up, or catch your position, catch your opponent at a position. A very nice sizable force for Satiini. I think he's thinking about doing a couple of drops and maybe attacking with his main force at the same time. He's going to pick out this overlord no problem. As his units are moving to the back, destroying the back rocks, these mules will be able to pick off 1 tank and maybe a couple of Marines. No, he's not actually going for the Marines, or maybe he will go for the Marines. And some of the Marines do go down as additional reinforcements come back. The mules are forced to run away. The back destructible rocks are almost completely done. And they are done, and I think he wants to get the tank siege up at the high ground. And he's pummeling away at the extractors, and at the same time, MaDFroG is gonna move all his drones away, and he's gonna attack back because all the tanks are over here, and he's going inside the base, or he's trying to get inside the base. And I think Satiini realized he's out of position. All he can do is take down the hatchery. That's only gonna be 300 minerals, while MaDFroG is going inside the base, and there's a ton of SCVs here that could be killed off by these Zerglings. Oh man, look at the Balings chasing the SCVs. If he can get, and there's a lot more SCVs over here, and if he could get a couple of Balings. Oh, Balings, what are you doing? Follow the SCVs, don't just stand there. Oh, they're just standing there. Look at all these SCVs running away. They could have gotten so many kills. And he actually got a lot of kills. As we can see, a lot of SCVs were dead. About 50 or 60% of the SCVs did die, but he could have gotten a lot more. And a couple of barracks are over here actually. And we see a lot of these medevacs are low on HP because I believe there was a fungal growth that was done on them, and the last of the infestors are cleaned up by Satiini. Good response, but I think MaDFroG was a little bit... I think if he just clicked a little bit more with his Balings, he could have gotten a lot more kills. Second weapon upgrade for both the vehicle and infantry is currently being researched by Satiini. If we take a look at the production tab, there's actually 11 Ultralights being produced, a couple of Spine Crawlers. Spine Crawlers is a very good idea, especially behind the mineral patch. Will help you deal with the Marines or the tanks that are going to come, and some of these Overlords are forced to move back because there is a tank and Marine army coming. A lot of Balings being constructed at this time. The tanks do get sieged up, and they don't want to come within the range of the tank fire, as noted by these white dots, and these Ultralights are coming in. That Ultralight almost went down. It lost about 70% of his HP, and this was slightly outside the range. And that is the power of the tanks, even though they were a little bit nerfed against some of the... and the Infestor goes down there. And these Ultralights are going to chase them across the map. A couple of Balings are coming with it, and a lot of splash, and we see Baling drop from these Overlords, destroying a tremendous amount of infantry. And these Ultralights should be able to clean up a couple of these tanks, and there's one tank stagger in the back a little bit. A couple of Marines and Marauders are going to try to take down this hatchery. Might not work, might work. And they will be able to kill a lot of probes if they want. And they did kill almost all the probes at the lower right hand corner, and the main force, the main army is coming down at the moment. 2 upgrades for the Zerg player, 1-0 and 2-0 upgrades for the Terran player Satiini at the moment, I believe. Let's take a look. A bunch of SCVs being transferred to the new base with the planetary fortress. A couple of medevacs running back into the base. A couple of Marines stemming up and running down to the base of Satiini, where there is a couple of Spine Crawlers. Spine Crawlers, this is not the optimal position. I think you want them over here. But maybe he wants them over here just in case that there is some harassment like is happening down here. A couple of drones getting killed. And there's a huge patch of these. Ooh, if he could have gotten a fungal growth, he actually does not have any festers over here. If he could have gotten an infestor and gotten one fungal growth, that would have been really horrible for Satiini. And we see the third upgrade for the Zerglings. The melee attack is being done at the moment, and one medevac is flying to this space and also the base at the lower right hand side. And I think he's going to drop on the high ground. Might be effective, might not be effective. I don't know what the range is on these spine crawlers. He's picking away at that overlord. Might not have been the best idea. A couple of marines here, and I think he's gonna back off perhaps. Another drop happening at the lower right, but there's only three drones and one hatchery at the lower right hand position, while fungal growth on 4 marines. That is a little bit excessive, I think. And these spine crawlers are able to finish them up, and there's one marauder inside this medevac. And he's going to be dropped off. He's going to be harassing this base as well. Not too many units over the map, and wow, one medevac and one marauder is forcing the entire bulk of MaDFroG's army to run all the way around the map. Not something you want to do, because this is only 2 units. And he's still dancing these units around. There are no infestors along with this army, so he can't actually stop this medevac. All the investors are in the middle of the map, which is a good positioning for them. And more drops are happening at the moment. There is going to be another drop at the lower left hand corner, and I think he wants to go there, but I think he realizes that Satiini is going to try to trap him there. And Satiini is going to go for the base at the lower left slightly. And this hatchery might go down. The forces don't make it there quick enough. The hatchery goes down. And if he can get fungal growth off here, it will be incredible. And this, they do stem up. They do get surrounded by the Zergling from both sides. Fungal growth is not going off. This should be sufficient. A lot of Zerglings and a lot of Ultralists should be able to handle this no problem. A lot more drones are being transferred. I think he wants to rebuild a hatchery over here possibly. And a couple of Marauders taking a midnight stroll across the creep, and I think that should give more than enough advance notice for MaDFroG. And the fungal growth goes off. A couple of infested Terrans are going to show up in time and take down these Marauders. Very, very well played there by MaDFroG, almost as he was expecting that. This medevac still flying around the map, and some Marauders at the high ground. A lot of Zerglings, Banelings, and Ultralisks have been produced by MaDFroG. If you take a look at the army count, 192 to 112, a huge disparity between these two players and their armies. I think MaDFroG doesn't feel extremely comfortable because Satiini has been very, very effective in harassing him. If we take a look, MaDFroG lost the base here, MaDFroG almost lost this base, MaDFroG lost this base, and MaDFroG is thinking about maybe grabbing another base. So it has been very, very nice micro by Satiini, very, very nice responses by MaDFroG, but at the same time, MaDFroG is actually chucking a couple of infested Terran up there, and that's sufficient to get the tanks to shoot at his own SCVs. A nice job is being done at the lower left-hand corner. At the same time, we'll be able to take out that hatchery once again. And I think MaDFroG lost 3 bases. He is not too happy at the moment. And these Zerglings trying to come in to finish the job or get the tanks to finish the job, but he was still unable to. A lot of Zerglings running from the side. There is a planetary fortress here. Not very good positioning. And we see a bunch of Overlords with Bailings. They might be doing a Bailing drop, and he's going to drop Bailings, man. What are you doing? Drop one Bailing. Just one Bailing. And there's Ultralists coming in with the Infestors. There is a couple of Marauders on the high edge. I think Satiini has lost his expansion, but he is still holding strong in his natural expansion at the high ground and his own base. And if these Overlords were to drop something right here, that would be perfect. His units are all distracted. He doesn't have that much anti-air. If these Overlords simply went over here, that would be really good. He actually doesn't do it. I think he's a little bit hurt by these Marauders that are constantly pounding away at his bulk of his army. He did lose quite a bit. If we take a look at the army count again, Satiini at 103, and surprisingly, MaDFroG is only at 120 something. He actually lost about 70 food worth of stuff in that one encounter, and a bunch of Bailings and these Overlords not doing too much. Very, very nice micro there by Satiini. Coming back, even though he lost this base, he did hurt MaDFroG quite significantly. couple of Vikings are going to try to take down those Overlords possibly, or they don't really want to engage because there's a couple of Infestors. If we can get a fungal growth on this group, of course I'm saying this with the knowledge that there's units there. Ooh, he actually does. He gets the fungal growth off, and if he can drop a couple of Balings, one Baling comes off, 2, 3, 4, and the entire, except for 2 of those infantry does die, and he had to cancel the command center. Once again, very, very fine control there by MaDFroG. Very, very defensive position for Satiini at the moment. He can't really expand outside because the Zerg player, MaDFroG, does have a lot of good control, and this spine crawler is bleeding everywhere because he does not have creep to keep his livelihood going. Couple of Marauders inside a medevac flying around the map, and there is 1 tank and 2 Marauders going to the middle map. I don't think it's going to be efficient or sufficient to hold off any attacks, but he just wants it there to harass because that's what he's been doing all game, poking a little bit and a little bit at MaDFroG, taking away some of the bases. MaDFroG is a largely macro player right now. If we take a look at the army count, 140 something versus 105, that gap is widening once again, and this lone tank won't be able to do too much. A couple of Marauders is being dropped at the lower right hand corner, and he might be able to get a lot of drones to die if he steps up, and he's going to step up and run in, and we're going to see a lot of drones dying right now, and the bulk of the army is inside the main area of the map, so he's actually a little bit out of position for that drop, and I think this hack rate is going to go down once again. A couple of Marauders running to the lower left hand corners to check if MaDFroG has a base there, but he does not. Fungal goes off, and these Ultras should be able to handle these Marauders, no problem.